Why are we here? Well, when God created us, when He created the first man and the first woman, Adam and Eve, we were perfect. There was no sin and there was no problems. But God didn't want to create a creation that was robotic, that had no choice, that could simply be forced to love Him or worship Him. So He gave them a choice. He put a tree in the middle of the Garden of Eden, and He told them not to eat of it. He said, "In the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die." He said, every single other tree in the garden you can eat from freely, but this one tree that's in the midst of the garden, thou shalt not eat of it. And so they had a choice to either worship God, to love Him, to honor Him, or to disobey Him and to sin against Him. Adam and Eve chose to disobey God. And the moment that they took of that fruit, the very instant that they took that fruit and bit into it, they died spiritually. That is when sin entered into the human race. Adam and Eve were instantly disconnected and separated from the life giver. Their bodies began to decompose. They were spiritually dead, and they were in the process of dying physically. That's why we have death today, because you and I are Adam and Eve's descendants. We have inherited Adam and Eve's sinful nature. We're sinners by nature. You don't have to teach a child how to lie, how to steal, how to get upset. Those are all inherent within our natures that we inherited from Adam and Eve. God didn't create mankind that way. They chose to sin. And so we have a problem because the Bible says that God cannot allow sin into heaven. It's because of our sin problem that we can't go to heaven. You see, God even kicked Lucifer out of heaven, who became Satan, for one sin, the sin of pride. And so we have a separation between us and God that if it's not remedied, if it's not paid for, if it's not taken care of, we will spend eternity forever apart from God in a place called hell. But the Bible says that for God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. He sent His Son, Jesus, who is God in human flesh, to die in our place, to pay our penalty for our sin, and to rise again 3 days later so that we could be forgiven. So why are we here? God created mankind to glorify Him and to experience the blessing of God's presence forever. Sin destroyed that connection, but it is reconciled through what Jesus did for us on the cross. If you want to know more about what Jesus did for you, I have a video on my profile that goes much deeper into all of these things, or you can send me a message and I'd be glad to help you.